YouTube channel's great. I watch all your YouTube videos. I think they're great. I love the thumbnails as well, the AI kind of thumbnails and stuff like that. I like the content you're putting out. It's high level. Beginners can understand it as well, but it's to a high level that a lot of people think that there's some secret button to SEO. And do you know what? The stuff you're putting out there is just doing what you say and rinse and repeating what you say, and you will progress very quickly.
A week ago, I was very fortunate to receive a direct message from James Dooley, who many of you won't have heard of, but he's been working in the background, building an absolute SEO empire through a mix of local lead generation websites where he basically partners up selling leads to local contractors. Then he's got gambling websites, affiliate website, agency tools, and now he's a major investor in lots of online businesses. So without a doubt, he's one of the most successful SEOs in the world. And I felt very touched when he reached out, asking if he could be on my podcast. The only problem being, I don't actually have a podcast, but now I do. So we got on the call, recorded the full conversation. We've got an hour and a half where I grill him on some really advanced SEO tactics, how he got to where he is today. And quite frankly, I was flattered that he actually wanted to grill me on the same things, vice versa. So it was a really good, vulnerable chat, lots of details shared, lots of value. I'm going to be releasing it next week. But for the first early access, make sure you sign up to my Ranking Revelations newsletter. So if you Google SEO Jesus, click on my website, go to Ranking Revelations, sign up for the newsletter. There'll be a link below as well. And you'll be one of the first to receive some of these big secrets in how James Dooley built this massive empire where he finds the opportunities, builds them out, incredible stuff to do with operations and scaling, how he actually runs 1,000 websites at once, and how he finds those profitable partnerships to sell leads to, and his actual sales process to make sure those leads get bought for a really high price. So you've got all that to come. Make sure you sign up to the newsletter. In the meantime, here's a little preview for you on semantics and on-page SEO based on James's real skill set, which is hiring the very best people for the right role so that he can then learn from those. So yes, in theory, we're just a link building agency, but as you know, links don't work if you don't have a topical authority or your content's not up to scratch. Yeah. So generally, when someone starts with us in month one, we'll try and do everything we can basically to improve their existing content and to fill those topical gaps. Yep. But we often get some gentle pushback. We go for that minimum content score of 70, but they'll say, you've mentioned our competitors. And we'll say, unfortunately, in the NLP, we have your competitors on there. So the example I always give is the best business coach. You better mention Tony Robbins, otherwise Google is going to see your articles incomplete. Google's only a machine. It can't read the content, but it can look for these mentions and entities. Yep. So you really need to fill those topical gaps. Now, what we tend to do is bury them at the bottom, and you only have to mention them. You don't have to say they're fantastic and do a detailed comparison. Personally, I think it's worth getting them in there.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. Getting the right entities and the right kind of keywords that are needed, and getting the semantic triples as well. So if you're turning around and you're getting the subject, the predicate, and the object in the right order in certain sentences is huge. Like, I'm a massive fan of, like, some of my team geek out every single day. I've got an in-house testing team, and they geek out on just content. If I ask them anything to do with backlink, they don't know anything about backlinks. But if I go and speak to them about whether to use Surfer SEO or onpage.ai or MarketMuse or Phrase or Page Optimizer Pro, they've got accounts with every single one of them, and they're consistently trying to test. And what you're talking about there, if you add, and even if it is a competitor's name, if you add certain entities onto a page, then yes, you rank better. Like Kyle Roof talks about it all the time. You can get lorem ipsum content and place certain keywords and entities in certain places on the page, and you can rank. So Google doesn't read the content. It's getting better, a lot better. It does now start to understand sentence structure a lot better for like featured snippets. But yes, it's an algorithm, and an algorithm can be manipulated because it's mathematical. So an algorithm's an algorithm. It always will be an algorithm, and they change words into vectors, which is numbers. And if you've got the right amount of vectors on the page, more than your competition, at some point you will outrank them.
Very nice. I think that's going to be the short form soundbite reel there for later. Now, on that note, I remember years ago we had SEMrush with the 40% recurring affiliate program. So everyone was promoting SEMrush as the best SEO tool, even though at the time, now it's kind of 50-50 personal preference. But at the time, I think everyone agreed Ahrefs was better, but every single article was promoting SEMrush for that affiliate commission. Yeah. And therefore, people were saying, if you didn't promote SEMrush, then your article was not ranking properly.